Hello, good morning. How are we all? Hello, YouTube. Hello, everyone watching on replay. If you're joining me live, drop live in the chat box. If you're joining me on replay, tell me where and when you're watching this at some point in the future. And if you're tuning in on the podcast and you want to join the chat, then I will leave the link below so you can join the chat over there. So today we are talking about something, well, it's a bit of an old school YouTube video. I'm doing a twist on a what's in my bag. Okay, so this is the kind of video I would have done many years ago. It would have been like what's in my nappy bag or diaper bag if you're in America. But yeah, what's in my kids changing bag, that kind of thing, was probably one of the first videos I ever did on my YouTube channel. But I've realized now that I have a system that works for me, and I am sort of well known among friends then for always having the right stuff with me when we're out and about. Someone's kid falls over and they need a plaster. I've got one. Whatever we need, I tend to have with me. And this is because I've built this system up over many years. And the reason these things get added into my day-to-day bags, my go bags, are very similar to the way I pack for going away on holiday. And it's generally because we've been somewhere, we've needed something, someone has had a meltdown about it, and then I've thought, right, fine, I'm never leaving the house without this ever again. And that's how it's worked. That's how it's worked. And that is how we've developed this system. Now, I've also realized recently that apparently, now I saw this on YouTube because I don't actually do TikTok, but apparently, if you're on TikTok, do let me know if you're on TikTok. I do technically post on TikTok because if I post something, like if I create a video that is a vertical video for YouTube Shorts or for Instagram, then my software automatically posts it to TikTok, but I do not go over there and consume content. I think I'm scared if I fall down that rabbit hole, I will not come back out. But apparently, according to a video I saw on YouTube talking about TikTok, there is something going viral on TikTok, which is the purse bowl, which in America, a purse is a handbag, isn't it? And in the UK, we call a purse would be our wallet for holding coins or whatever. So slightly different. But I think I was watching this video about this viral TikTok purse bowl, and I thought, I already do that. I already do that, but I do it with a twist. I do it with a twist. So I'm going to show you my little system. I'm going to show you the things I don't leave the house without ever. The things that I switch out depending whether I'm going out on my own, which let's face it, that's pretty rare. Whether I'm out on my own or with the kids. I have got a blog post where I've linked a couple of the bits I'm going to talk about in today's video. But I think I've left a lot of that out because I kind of scrapped it together. So if there's anything missing that there's no links for in that blog post, let me know and I shall find some links. I'm thinking of quite a few off the top of my head because I've got a list of stuff I want to go through and I haven't put them in the blog post yet. But anyway, without further ado, let's introduce you to my system, which I know you're going to love. I know you're going to love this, especially if you have a neurospicy family, especially if, like me, let me know, by the way, if anyone else feels like this, let me know. Do you always have this feeling you've forgotten something? Because that is my brain, okay? I cannot leave the house without being like, what have I forgotten? What have I forgotten? And it's having this system that helps me leave the house with confidence. No, it's okay. I've got the things I need. It's the same way that I have to pack for trips and things. Anyway, welcome to this is my, I think it's right. Excuse me with the IKEA pronunciations, okay? And massive apologies to if you're listening on the podcast. Most podcast episodes you really don't need to listen to, but you might want to head to YouTube to watch this one. But I shall describe it for those who can't watch. This is a white plastic IKEA box. I think you pronounce it Kugis. Kuggis, I believe. I have these in all different sizes. They're really cool. They stack on top of each other. And I've got quite a few in my office. If you've seen, like behind me, I've got these Calyx boxes. These boxes fit too deep inside one of those Calyx things. And this is what I use as what they were calling on TikTok, which was the inverted commas purse bowl. So the theory behind the purse bowl on TikTok apparently was every time you go home, you take the stuff out your handbag and you dump it in that purse bowl. And this has multiple benefits. So the benefit is you're taking out all the rubbish out of your bag. You're not leaving it in your bag. You're not having like scabby wrappers and half-used tissues and things. Yuck, we're not about that life. And also then if you are switching from bag to bag, now if you're the kind of person that just has one handbag and that is your handbag for life, that's slightly different. But if you switch from different handbags for different outfits, which I mean, I sometimes switch different handbags for different outfits. If you just look up behind me, I have like a lot of like all the Disney bags and stuff. But if I'm honest, in my real life, I have three go-to bags. There are exceptions where maybe I'm going out for a nice lunch or something, I'll like choose a different bag. Or if I'm very rarely going out for a drink, I recently bought a very, very tiny, just like a going out bag in Primark. But generally, I have three go-to bags. And the things inside this box, which I'm going to show you in a second, are the things that I switch out between these bags. And that way, I am not, number one, losing things, because I am that person that loses things all of the flipping time, okay? The number one thing I use my Apple Watch for is this. It's when you press the button and you go, "Oh, there's my phone." Literally pinging my flipping iPhone, okay, to find out where my iPhone is. So if I do not have a home for things, my ADHD brain will not know where I've put them, and I will leave the house without them. So I'll either totally leave without them because they're not in this really obvious place, or I'll just be late because I'm running around looking for these things. So let's start by showing you the three bags. Actually, I'm going to show you my three go-to bags that I have for 99% of my trips from the house if I'm going on my own or with the kids. And bear in mind, this video is going to be super, super helpful for you if you've got children. We're going into the summer. If you're going to be like taking day trips with them and things, that's going to be super helpful for you. I should have said that at the start. Shouldn't I? The other thing I probably should have done is introduce myself. Did I even do that? I'm not sure. If you're new around here, hi, my name's Rhiannon Morgan. Everyone calls me Rhi. On this channel, I talk about all things getting that little bit organised, that little bit more organised as a mum, a busy mum with four children who works full time, also has ADHD, very busy brain, trying to pull everything together. And these are the things that help me hold my stuff together. Okay, so the three facts I tend to have to leave the house with. So this one is the first one. This is a Lululemon belt bag. This will be the bag I will take if I am just running to the school. I'm literally going to the school to fetch the kids, maybe to a local shop, locally to do like a not far run to one of their activities or something. Anywhere where I'm just going to be out the house like less than an hour, I will probably take this one. This is also an amazing bag if you've got any like airport trips and things coming up, and you want to have all your passports and things right next to your chest. Other bags are available, obviously, but I have this Lululemon one. This is the Everywhere Belt bag, and it is the slightly larger of the two sizes because it fits a lot more stuff in it. So number one thing, obviously, I always take with me whenever I go out is my phone. My phone is a flipping massive one. It's a Pro Max. So I do have a pop socket on the back because I just find it too flipping slippy otherwise. It's like hold it. My hands are not big enough. So I have one of those pop sockets on the back. It is mag safe, so it clunks on and off like so. So I can put it down, but also it makes it really easy to hold. So I do not leave the house without my phone. I do have my watch, which I can use to pay for things. I have Apple Pay on my watch, but I also have Apple Pay on my phone. My watch is not one of those ones that you can also phone from. If I bought the one that had a SIM card in it, then maybe I would leave my phone behind a little bit more because I'd still be able to phone people. But I didn't want to pay for the extra SIM card per month or whatever. So we've just got the phone. I know it's pretty obvious you're going to take your phone with you wherever you go, but I literally wouldn't leave the house without my phone, so that my children can get hold of me, so that I can pay for things, and honestly, so that I can listen to podcasts and music and things on the go when I'm walking around and driving and things. And to be honest, even if I'm driving in my hometown, I use sat nav because my sense of direction is flipping awful, flipping appalling. Literally, I don't know if this is an ADHD thing, but it's like I have map blindness. I cannot envisage in my head, I cannot visualize how to get from one place to another, other than maybe how to get to my child's school. If you want, if you want me to give you directions any further than that, even if it's somewhere I've been a million times, I'm going to struggle. Okay. I'm going to struggle. So my phone is an absolute flipping must. I know not everyone would take their phone every time they leave the house. I do. So one of the reasons I have this size of belt bag is that my phone fits comfortably inside it. Okay, so it would not leave the house without that. Something else, I actually just have these delivered from Amazon. I love them. I have them in I buy them in bulk, and I just leave a pack of these in each of my bags, and they're just sugar-free mints. I find that if I'm like Do I want a snack? Do I want a snack? If I have a mint, then I know if that's just me wanting a snack because I just want something to, to distract myself. And if a mint does it and I'm not so hungry after that, then I'm not hungry. Whereas if I eat a mint and then I'm not distracted, I'm still hungry, like, then I know I'm genuinely hungry and I have a snack. Because again, ADHD brain. That's apparently something I'm learning about myself. That differentiating whether I'm hungry or not, something difficult to figure out. Okay, so in here I've got a couple of little pouches. In the back of here, I've actually got a tenner because someone paid me a tenner for something yesterday. I almost never have cash with me. I do try and remember to when I'm like keep at least £10 on me. So that is kind of good that is in there. But normally I do have to, I will, once I spend that, I do have to really remember to replace it because there's very few places that you need cash anymore. But when you do, you really do. And it's generally one of those sales at the school. So, and chuffed I've got that. I'll try and leave that in there, replace it. I've got a couple of makeupy bits in here that live in here. I do have a full like kit thing in the other one. The reason for this is we went for like a little day out with the kids recently, just like a little hour out, just like a nice park and stuff. And then we ended up going in somewhere nice for food, and I look like I've been dragged through a hedge backwards. So I thought, "Do you know what? If I just keep a tiny amount of bits in here, even if it's like, should we nip in for a drink somewhere? Then I can kind of make myself a bit more put together. So I've got the world's tiniest, like almost run out. That's just a Pillow Talk lip liner, which is kind of my go-to. I've got also the world's tiniest. That's like a powder. It's the Airbrush Flawless setting powder. So I can kind of make myself a bit more put together with that and a little poofy thing. These things I love. I've got millions of these. I use them for travel. I keep them in my handbags. This is for decanting perfume, and this is just my kind of go-to scent. And you just pop the little top off the perfume and just like pump, pump, pump down. Keeping these in my bag, just a little bonus, always smell great. And then lip balm. I literally don't leave the house without some sort of lip balm or lip oil. My skin is painfully dry, and my lips, I don't know, you can see, like, even with I've got lipstick on now, they just always look, and it's the summer, whether it's the summer or the winter, I always just have these sort of kind of like dry, crispy lips, which is not nice at all. So I've always got some sort of lip balm with me or lip oil. And this was just like a sample of the mascara that I use. So I just chuck that all in the back of there, and those just kind of live in there. I don't have to kind of move them. This is like a lip and cheek thing as well, which again is kind of lip balmy. It's a Pillow Talk, again, a Charlotte Tilbury one. I am kind of obsessed with Charlotte Tilbury lip um, products. I have bought most of those myself, although I have had some in PR previously. So those things kind of live in there. The other thing I always, always, always have with me is tissues. Now I buy tissues in bulk. These are the Kleenex Balm ones. I just fold up one of those or two of those and pop them in there because generally one of my kids will be like, "Mum, have you got a tissue?" And they've all got tissues in their school bags, but they'll be like, "Have you got a tissue?" Because I've never been able to cope with children with runny noses. So ever since they were tiny, I'm like, come on, wipe your nose, wipe your nose. So now they don't like the feel of needing their nose wiped. So that's great. So they're not children that are comfortable with having snotty noses. But the main reason I need tissues all the time is for some reason I have a runny nose all year round. So in the winter I have a cold, and in the summer I apparently have hay fever. So oh, and also if I go from warm to hot, cold, cold to hot, my nose runs as well. I don't know what that's all about. Is that a medical problem? Is there something the matter with me? I only found out in my 30s. I remember my sister saying to me, "Ray, do you realise some people don't have tissues in their houses all the time?" I was like, what do they do when their noses run? They're like, "Some people's noses don't run all the time." And I was like, "What, hold the phone? Is that true?" Apparently that's true. Okay, so in my little belt bag, as well as my phone, the other thing I always have with me is my keys. So on my keys, on my bench, I have got my AirPods. Now, I've got two types of these. These are official AirPods, which are great because they go between, like, they hook up to my phone, and then I've got my computer or my iPad, and they will automatically jump between whichever one I'm using, and that's great. But they are expensive and they don't last forever. I find that they're really, really great, but then when they start to deteriorate, you kind of need to replace them. Sometimes they just suddenly stop connecting to your phone every time. And it's the second set I've had that's gone a bit glitchy like that. And they're not cheap. They're like, these are AirPod Pros. They're 200 and something, they're quite big bucks. Um, I do like that I can track them from my phone and make them blip and things. But do you know what I've been using lately? And if you've seen my cleaning videos and things, I love these. Um, these are, they come in other colors other than pink are available, but these are great. They are literally 20 odd quid, not 200 and odd quid. And then again, I can like take my actual AirPods out, which I've been leaning towards doing this, and put these in. The other thing is my phone is now on Lightning and my AirPods are still on no, not like, sorry, that's USB-C. My AirPods are still on Lightning, I think. Are they on Lightning? Yeah, that's a Lightning connection, to charge them. So these pink ones I've been using more. Now they don't automatically then reconnect to my other devices, but if I'm out and about, I've only got my phone with me, so that's fine. And I love having those attached to my keys because every time I leave the house, I have them with me. So if I want to listen to a podcast, like you could listen to my podcast. I mean, I don't listen to my podcast, that would be weird, but you could. Or audiobooks. If you go to mummyoffour.com/audible, I should probably put these in the blog post actually, shouldn't I? If anyone wants to just jot down in the comments for me and do me a solid as to which links I need to add. But I need to add the link for the AirPods, the faux pods, should we call them faux pods, the fake AirPods, and the Audible and things. But yeah, you can grab a free Audible book. I love listening to audiobooks while I'm walking and the children. Obviously, I love listening to music. That really like changes my, improves my mood and things. But having my AirPods with me. The other thing I do is that's the time I use to catch up with friends when I'm walking around. Or if I'm in the car and I want to be on a phone call with a friend and the kids are with me and I don't want to listen to like talk to over the loudspeaker because I'm having a conversation that I don't want the kids necessarily listening in on both sides of, then I will use these. So I like having these on my keys because that way they're always with me. Obviously, I have my car key on there and I have an air tag. Okay. If you're not on board with air tags yet, you need them in your life. Okay. Now, this obviously only works within the Apple ecosystem. If you are on Android, sorry, probably there is something for that too, but I don't know what it is. But the AirTags are great. So basically, see if I can show you now. You can track AirTags using your phone, and it will track it doing the kind of, it'll show it on a map. But also, if I want to find my keys, I can press find and it will kind of do the, can you see that? It'll do the like how far away you are. So if they were like down the um down the sofa, it would navigate, it would be like 2 foot left, kind of like the hot or cold game you played when you were a kid. So these are amazing. So you can always find your keys. Now I use AirTags for multiple things. Obviously, I've got another couple of keys, like house keys, a really cute keyring that I got in Walt Disney World, and they always go with me wherever I'm going. So the bare minimum I would take with me when I'm going out would be this bag, my keys, my phone, my mints, a couple of tissues. And then the other thing I do like to have with me wherever I go, not necessarily if I'm literally just going to the school, but if I'm going anywhere further than like half an hour, is a drink because hydration is important to people. It's super important. In fact, let's take a sip now. Let's take a sip now. I do love my Stanley, but it's super impractical unless I'm at my desk. It's huge and I love it, but it's not one of the newest ones. It's got a flip lid and you can tip them upside down and stuff. That is not that kind. I've got this, which is the original chili bottle. This one fits quite neatly into this if I don't put my phone in. So this will fit a water bottle, my keys, if I put my phone in my pocket, but not if I put my phone in my bag as well. This one is actually, this is the chili bottle 2, which I take out quite a lot. And certainly if I'm taking bigger bags, I'll take this one. This is the 500 ml. I think this one's like 200 and odd ml. This one's the 500 ml, but you can see it's not much bigger. It's just kind of wider. So I do like that. It does fit better. If you are taking like a Loungefly bag, like the Loungefly bags up there, the Disney bags, then this one is much better because it fits much neater. Because the old traditional drinks bottles are far too tall for those like little mini backpacks. So the chili bottle too, I do like for longer days out. Okay, other things that I have in here if I'm going out beyond the quick grab and go. So let's talk air tags a little bit more first. So I've got a selection of air tags in here that I have got for the children. So first of all, if we're going out with the kids, then they've got air tags. This is like more so if we're traveling, we're far away from home, then it's just an extra layer of security. If they were to go missing, it's not so relevant for when they have their own phones and they are more contactable. Like, well, really doesn't really need this. But if we are traveling and they were to kind of wander off in the wrong direction, at least you'd know which direction they'd gone in. Obviously, it's no substitution for keeping an eye on them, but it's just that extra layer of um, protection. You can get AirTag. So these are like separate bands and things that you pop the AirTags in. So the AirTag itself is just this little disc. So this is the AirTag, and you can put it on all sorts of different things. So I'll show you a few different ways I use mine. Obviously, the first one I've shown you is on my keys. But yeah, I use them on the kids and then also on the kids' bags. So if we're out and about somewhere and they put their bag down, as has happened previously, you can be like, okay, retrace our steps, find the bag, and you're more likely to be able to find it if there is an AirTag attached to it. Another good way to use AirTags, for example, the other day, my daughters were in a show. It was so much fun. I got roped into doing the choreography for a show, a number that the girls were doing through school, but with in like a big theatre. And it was so much fun. But then I drove there with a whole bunch of little girls in the day and I parked the car. And then my auntie picked Will and my husband up and met us at the theatre. They watched the show and then we all went home together. So I left an air tag in the car so that he could find the car where I'd parked the car. So that was kind of handy. So that's another good way of using an AirTag. You could, of course, if you are forgetful, like me, just leave an AirTag in the car all the time. I may do that actually so that I can remember where I have parked the car. It's not a totally stupid idea. Okay. So one of the other two bags that I tend to use while I'm out and about are either this bag, which my husband bought me in Disneyland Paris. It is a Disney bag, but it's not like a super like it's not like a lounge by Disney bag. This is a Disneyland Paris one. It's a tote bag. It's got quite a lot of little pockets in it. It's got a couple of bits that live in there, but mostly the things that get switched back and forth. And then I've also got this one, which I recently bought, and I'm obsessed with this bag. I was looking for a bag for theme parks, for days out with the kids, something super practical, something that I can take with me and just carry so many different things, but also has a million pockets because when we're in like on towers or somewhere, or we have got more theme park trips planned this summer, and I need to like fetch things out of my bag, and I've just got this big bag and it's just got all the stuff in it, and I'm looking for a battery or something, it's just impossible to find anything. So that bag has so many pockets. It's amazing. Okay, so very briefly, a couple of things that live in each bag. Each bag has its own hairbrush. This is just a little one I bought locally somewhere that lives in there. Each bag always, I just leave mints in there, and they tend to leave packs of tissues. Um, yeah, so other than that, the things get switched around, and actually each bag I do tend to leave a hand sanitizer. That was a hand sanitizer from Walt Disney World, that I've refilled a million times since. The hand sanitizer of preference actually is this one, which again I buy in bulk from Amazon. It's so nice. It smells amazing. It's reasonably gentle on the hands. It doesn't stink. Like most hand sanitizers just stink. This one actually smells like love hearts. It's lovely. Okay, so on to this bag. This bag I have linked down in the description. If anyone else is after one, they have got a very psychedelic, like rainbow looking version, which was cool too. But I thought I'd go for black because I thought it was quite a safe bet for when we're traveling. It's not going to be like too conspicuous and it's not going to look too dirty. That it's got really pretty lining and so many pockets. So I love that this bag has these like toggle things on the side pouches, because if you don't have these on the drinks pouches, often the drink, if you bend over to pick something up, the drink just falls out the side and then it smashes or dents or whatever, and it's not the best. So it's got those on both sides. Haven't flown with this bag yet, but it has got this luggage strap thing, so you can stick it over the like a wheelie case, you can stick it over there. So that's really, really handy. It's got pockets at the front, which I've got hand sanitizer inside of. And yes, I have got another um, lip oil in there. And left those in there for the kids because they like those. The girls who don't like mint, they like those. And yeah, so those pouches are in there. And then inside, there is a laptop sized pouch. I haven't used this yet for my laptop, but I could do. I am going to show you some other bits of those though. And then I can show you some other things that are actually in here. So, like I said, I took this bag earlier this week to a show. So I have some ribbon in there. That was actually from the show the week before. That needs to go back. Then now I'm going to show you some things that I transfer. These go between, say, this bag and the other tote bag. Back and forth depending on which bag I'm using. If I was using a smaller bag, like one of those little Loungefly bags, or just a different going out bag, I would transfer a lot of these things too. Okay, so number one, this will be in whichever bag I'm currently using. So I used to just attach the air tag to whichever bag I was currently using, but I've now switched it to attaching this like pouch thing to whichever bag I'm currently using. I've just realized it untagged this. If, by the way, you can find a bag that has a carabiner place to put keys and things, huge bonus, because you're going to find things a lot better. So in here, this is my like super tiny medical kit, and I keep this stuff with me. I'm going to show you what I've got in here. I always keep this with me just in my bag. And then I know, as long as this is in the bag, I know I can find my bag. I think this air tag is labeled Ree's bag or something like that. But yeah, so I've got plasters. These are the cushiony blister plasters, and those are just standard plasters. I find for walking a lot, for days out and things, I like to have blister plasters with me because there is nothing more annoying than getting on a day out, getting a blister and just being absolutely miserable because you can just feel your skin being rubbed away by your shoe. If you get a blister plaster on that thing, straight away, all is well. I also keep in here ibuprofen and paracetamol, just in case, and cold and flu medication. So if I'm ever coming down with something and we are out and about traveling, I can kind of get myself through it until we get home. Also in here somewhere, where is it? In the other one. I've got separate kind of medical kit. There we go. So this is the very small kind of section of medical kit that's more like stuff for me. I've also got just one dose of my ADHD medication that I keep with me. So if I've forgotten to take it before I leave, I can have that when I'm out. And also hay fever medication I keep in here too, because again, like I say, I suffer with hay fever, and a set of migraine tablets. Because if you know, you know, if you suffer with migraines, if you head it off, I've got migraine relief, and if I take that early enough, it kind of heads off the migraine and I don't feel that bad. However, if I leave it and I don't take it, then I feel rough as can be. I've also got just two little Rennie, so if anyone has indigestion, then that can be dealt with too. So that's just my kind of slightly more adult medical kit, and that gets put in whichever bag I'm currently using. So I just tack that onto this clippy thing, but I also clip my keys onto so that I can find them within that bag. Slightly bigger kind of medically kit thing now that's sort of more for kiddie stuff. So I've always got with me, I know my kids are too old for them, but we use them all the flipping time, okay? Wet wipes. Don't leave the house without them. And I've got to say, if you've been following me for a long time, you'll know that I didn't actually use disposable wet wipes when my kids were small. I used cheeky wipes and I did cloth nappies. I've been buying these since because when it got to the stage where we weren't using cloth nappies anymore, with cloth wipes, you take them out kind of slightly damp and then you use them that day. And obviously, I used to refill them all the time and then they'd all stay fresh. However, I found that when they got older, I wasn't using them as much, and then they would kind of go musty and gross. So I buy these in bulk. I put these in the kids' bags and things, so for eating out, if they slop food on themselves, just something gets mucky, something, there's a million things you might need wet wipes for. But I also have these antibacterial wipes, which are not for hands, they're more for tables and things. So if we're eating somewhere on a day out and the table is a bit grim, and if you've seen vlogs, there are some places that we go where everything's beautifully clean. I always appreciate it. And some places you're like, ew, we need to clean here before we eat, and then we have those. Also in here in this little medical kit, I can't tell you how many times I've needed these little scissors when we've been out because someone's got a little bit of string hanging off and it's annoying them. Someone needs something opened. These little scissors, and because they are these like baby scissors, you can take those on planes because they're not dangerous. Then I've never had any trouble with those going through the airport, so those are good. I do keep a couple of little sachets of Calpol with me. My kids don't like swallowing actual tablets, so if one of them was to become feverish or hurt themselves or something when we're out, I have got those with me. I've got another couple of these blister plasters in here. And Bella's hands are not so bad now, but she was needing this hand cream quite a lot, so I had some of that. And also Vaseline. Bella will not leave the house without Vaseline. So if I've just got some in my bag, then I know that she's got that for her lips and whatever else she might need it for. And a pen, a nice clicky multi pen that goes in there. And this is good because my cuticles, I find if they are picky, I will pick them and then they'll be awful. However, this is like a cuticle oil pen. So if I put some of that on it and then just trim with the scissors, if any like scaggy bits go off there, I don't pick them. But if I've got a dangly bit of skin, I will pick it. So that gets transferred bag to bag. I don't necessarily need this. Oh, hang on. I also forgot, almost forgot a fidget. My kids have their own fidgets, but I've got a fidget in there in case one of them hasn't got one. So that goes in the bag too. Other things that go in the bag. I always like to have um, foldable, fold away shopping bags with me. There's nothing more annoying than getting to a shop and being like, "Have you got a shopping bag?" And being like, "Well, I've got a million of them, but they're all at home." So what I like to do is just put this one and another couple generally back in the bag. If you have a few of them, clip them together on a little carabiner. You can stick them in the boot of your car, or you can clip them to other things, clip them to your keys, whatever. They are there for you. Um, Sorry, so in here, I just want to show you this actually. I'm not sure how well you're going to be able to see, but in here there are quite a lot of pockets. So I've got more wet wipes in here. Oh, I've also got this, which is amazing for the summer because inside here there's like a big, I just don't know if you can see that. There are two almost like drinks pouches inside, one down each side, and there's also a zippy pouch at the bottom and space to hold a yoga mat. So this bag is literally my new best friend. I've got pens that just live in there as well, and also a hairbrush and scrunchie. So if I am a bit hot and bothered, I can just pin my hair up with that. These scrunchies are the ones from Kitsch, which is the same make as the people that do my heatless curlers. They are brilliant. But yeah, this is what I was going to show you shoved down here. This is amazing for the summer, amazing if you are getting on a plane. This is the Magic Hydrator Mist from Charlotte Tilbury, and it's just kind of like a moisturizer and just on top. Can you see it? Just kind of, it probably doesn't look like I've done anything, but it's fresh. It's kind of like a freshen up for your face, freshen up for your makeup, over the top of makeup. Can go under makeup on top of skincare. I love it for the summer, definitely for traveling. It was really nice when we went on a long haul flight. Speaking of makeup, I do have a makeup kit that I chuck in my bag if I think I might want to sort of do any top ups and things. Now, this makeup bag is a pretty complete kit. I could, if I was to not have time to get ready at all before leaving the house, and I just wanted to like run out the house and just park the car and quickly slap on some makeup before I went somewhere, I could do that with this kit. This is the tiny little Charlotte Tilbury makeup kit. So again, I've got another little atomizer spray in there. I've got a concealer because in a pinch you could just use that instead of foundation. I've got a tiny little tester pot of the magic cream. Again, that sort of would go under the underneath first. And just if you're looking a bit like when we went to the show the other day, I looked so dishevelled. We'd been on and off the stage, and then we're back in the dressing room with the girls. It was so much fun. And I'd done all the girls' hair, and we'd done all their hair, just finished doing all the makeup. And I looked at myself and I was like, oh, good grief, I look such a mess. So I just grabbed a bit of magic cream, just kind of wiped under my eyes because I looked like a panda. I think I've been rubbing my eyes, stuck a bit of this on. This is just a little um, powder. So I just tidied myself up with that. This is new. This is an Anastasia Beverly Hills blush, and you just stick a little bit on with one end, and then on the other end it's got like a little brush to blend it in, so that's like really good for kind of on the go. I've also got a brush in there too to stick on some powder, and then I've just got a tiny little brown eyeliner. I've got another one of these little Tester Pillow Talk push-up lashes, mascaras. I just kind of save those when they send them to me and for my handbag. And then I've got a little lipstick. This one is, which one's this? This is the Kim KW. Not actually the one I'm wearing now. I'm wearing Pillow Talk at the moment. That's Kim KW and Iconic Nude, which is this colour. Needs sharpening actually. And a little bit of airbrush for flawless setting spray, which kind of sets your makeup. So that is enough to do my entire face if I had left the house with no makeup on at all, or if I know I'm going to leave the house with no makeup on at all, I could grab that and just, do it on the go. And then I have also got this cute little set of makeup brushes, which is handbagable as well. So I don't necessarily take these everywhere I'm going. However, I've got them in my go box, which is just here in my cougar, or however you say it. Because if I do need to go somewhere where I might want to touch up, or if I'm not wearing any makeup and I want to, it's all there ready to go. I also have a little umbrella in here, which, weather permitting, unfortunately, we've got to take those most places in the UK. I do have this tiny little purse, which has got a few coins in it. One of my business cards, one of my husband's business cards, and I have got a debit card in there as well in case I needed to get cash. I'm not sure if I even know the pin for it, to be honest, but I do have it. I've got a little hand cream for more for the winter when my hands were getting really dry and sore. I don't need that so much now, but it's still in there. And again, for on the go, this stuff is amazing for the kids. So we have this in big bottles for putting on them in the mornings. It is 8-hour protect and swim. So let me get this right. You can put it on. Oh no, this one's just protect. Okay, this is, oh no, and water resistant. Right. Okay. So so if you put it on your kids and they don't get wet, it lasts 8 hours. If you put it on your kids and the kids get wet, it only lasts 3 hours. And then this is just a roll on. So it's so easy and kind of mess free. So this is perfect for like an on the go bag because you can top up if you're out for longer. I am finding midday these days is not the warmest part of the day. And actually, the kids are more likely to burn at like 4 or 5 o'clock, which is actually more than 8 hours after they would have had sunscreen in the morning. So that is a must. The children have been really loving these. So I've been putting these in my bag. They do a strawberry one as well. You can get these in Primark. Where else can you get these? Because they're quite delicious. Okay. They are quite yummy. The girls don't like mints. So those are perfect. And let's see, another couple of little bits and pieces we've got in here to show you. Okay, so some slightly more kind of extra things that I don't super need all the time, but may be handy for days out. So as I mentioned, we were just doing this show. And so while we were rehearsing, was using this little speaker. But if you were going to like the park or maybe a beach or something and you wanted to have some music, so I've just got an old iPhone. This is my ancient iPhone from, it's an iPhone 7. So I've literally just wiped it and just put music on it, and that synchronizes with that. And I found that quite handy when I was doing rehearsals with the girls, obviously, because I need to film them to show them what they were doing. So I need to film them on my main phone so they could see how they looked in order to practice. But I needed a separate one for music, so that was really handy. And I've got quite a few of these too. These are like a must essential for long days out. And these are charger banks. So we have a number of these little charger banks. And that is a USB-C to USB-C adapter. And then that's a lightning adapter, which would be for my AirPods and everyone else's phones. I think all the rest of my family are still on lightning, whereas I'm on the USB-C. So I very rarely leave the house for a long day out without a charger bank, because I will show you a couple of these bits less. relevant for you guys, but the extra kind of stuff I carry then for filming and vlogging. Right, so I would carry the camera I'm physically filming on now, which I can't show you because I'm filming on that, but also my little DJI camera for vlogging. I generally have a light with me. I have this little case which has these little microphones inside. And then I also carry this. This is why I need a big bag when I'm out vlogging, which has got extra battery handles for this camera, which has got an extra charger bank to charge everything, and extra SD cards and batteries for the camera I'm filming on now. So that's not something that everyone would have to take. Obviously, that's more like a me problem. But that's one of the reasons that I end up carrying such big bags when we go for days out, because I have all these extra bits of cameras and things. The other thing, obviously, I like to take with me is snacks. And I think I got some in the bottom of here. When I was doing rehearsals for this show, every time I showed up, they were like, did you bring biscuits? And I had to take biscuits. I've actually just got like a cereal bar and a protein bar in there, but this bottom pouch is really good for snacks because it is water resistant. And then I don't physically go out the house to do yoga, but if you were going to yoga, you could put a yoga mat in there. But I thought falling out the bag. I thought the best thing to use that for, perhaps for days out for us, would be a picnic blanket. So I could put a picnic blanket under there to carry, because the sun is out, guys. The sun is out, and we're doing a lot more days out with kids and things, just locally, as well as the big days out and theme park things that I'll be vlogging mainly on my other channel. But it is just so much easier when I know I've got all these things. So I know I'm leaving the house. I've always got snacks. I tend to make sure that something's refilled. So I've just got a protein bar for me in case I kind of get the shakes because I've forgotten to eat. It happens. Um, I've always got some means of paying for things. I've always got some means of rehydrating my lips and my face when they feel all dry and crusty. I've always got sun cream for myself or the kids if we are out later than anticipated. So it's just by having this system, um, it helps my ADHD brain not forget things, and it helps my kids not melt down because they've got the things with them they need. So if they're bringing a device but it's gone flat, I've got a charger bank. If they're melting down, I've got a fidget for them. If someone is messy, I've got something to wipe them up with. And you would have thought, as the kids get older, you don't need quite as much stuff, but I tend to find if I leave the house with anything less than this amount of stuff, then someone has a meltdown, unfortunately. Now, if you're inside of my Organised Life Club, then there's so much more support if you are a neurospicy family, and you understand what I mean when you're like, I always feel like I'm forgetting something. And if you are looking for help and support with systems, because perhaps your brain works like mine and you just feel forgetful and you always feel like you've forgotten something, then help is available inside the Organised Life Club. You can join for free going to mummyof4.com/join. I would love to have you inside of there. I have got some, let's see, I've got a whole bunch of free resources inside of there as well. There is a collection called freebies and bonuses, and there's loads of printables and things in there that you can download. So just join for free and you can access those, or you can join me inside the full club for £10 a month. And then once a month we do a different workshop. We're working through different areas of our lives, refining routines, and I'm sharing all of the exact systems I use in different areas of my life, to make your life so much easier. So we've already done a routine assessment workshop where we look at different areas of our lives and see which need a bit of tweaking, care, and attention. This month we did a meal planning and meal routine workshop, which looks at fussy eating, which looks at eating as a family, how we can get everyone kind of eating more similar things, eating together, that kind of thing, as well as meal planning. That's already in there. Next month, we're doing a weekend reset workshop. I'm currently working on the resources for that now. I'm so excited about that. Let's see, what else am I working on that I wanted to share with you? I've had requests for a kids version. So obviously you guys know that I have my Organised Life Planner. I'm working on a kids version of this, which is going to be more focused on, yes, to-dos and things, because kids want to, kids want to fill in that kind of stuff too, but also a lot more on like mental health and processing feelings and emotions and things. So I'm working on that. I'm working on a school holiday planner so we can really absolutely smash the school holidays and enjoy all that. And then all the back to school planning stuff. So we'll be doing all of that inside of the Organised Life Club. There'll be loads of printables and things like that to support you. So head to mummyof4.com/join. There should be a button here I can press. If I press this button, oh no, I just disappear. Ignore that. That's not the right button. I thought that button was going to make it pop up on screen. That's not the right button. Ignore that. Yeah. So if you that is not the right button at all. Yeah, you just have to go to mummyall4.com/join to join me inside of there. If you would like to grab my free printables, if you're struggling with morning routines for your kids, um, I have got all of these plus my Calm Start checklist. So the Calm Start checklist is for adults morning routines. These are printables for kids. We've got school morning routine printables, school holiday mornings, and weekend mornings, I believe. Yeah, weekend morning printables. They are all totally free. If you go to mummyoffour.com/routine, then you can grab all of those. There should be links to everything I've mentioned down below in a blog post. And then if you're watching this on replay, there'll be a video popping up on screen in a moment and a link to join the Organised Live Club for you to click on. And if you have joined me live, thank you so, so much. If you're listening on the podcast, rate, review, subscribe. I'll see you guys very soon in the next one. Bye.